Why are we going to start to talk about Facebook? It's just because we need a plan for driving traffic to your website. You can have a really wonderful website, but if nobody knows it and nobody have the risk of clicking any link to your website, it doesn't work. Well, you have several ways why people are coming to your website. One is in the search engine. I recommend that you frequently, let's say at least once in the 2 months, update your texts on your website to stay a little fresh. Otherwise, you are just a static website, and that's not very interesting for the search engine. The second is that you are going to pay for your promotion for the search engine, but you can also do that on Facebook. And you can build a Facebook community. What we did, I think now it's 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. We started with, we had a few hundred fans of the website. We created the website, like a fan page for the website, and just a few hundred. We didn't have a plan, it was just over there. It was a good starting point, but it doesn't drive any traffic. So we decided at that moment, let's create a community of people interested in searching God. Let's say more the spiritual place of communicating about the gospel in a relevant way. That's a hard task in the first place, because respect your platform, and Facebook is what I say, a recreative platform. People are using it in their free time. It's not professional, it's quick, it's not very deep, it's not very focused on having very deep conversations. So be aware of that, of the dynamics of your platform. But we started to use it because a lot of our target audience are on Facebook. So if your people in your country are not using Facebook, please don't use Facebook. Use what the people are using. That's in the first place. Don't do it because someone else is doing it, and don't do it because it's hip or contemporary or something like that. That's not the way how you do it. Use it as a strategic platform where you can reach your audience. So what we did, we created a plan how to use Facebook to reach searchers, people who are interested in spirituality and God. We started with a few hundred, and now we are almost on 30,000 fans. Most of them in the last year, in the first year we paid some amount of money for a daily promotion, and last year almost nothing. Most of it's dynamic, but it's hard work, I can say that. What we did is we started, when we are going to do it, we are going to do it very seriously. So we are going to update the page every day a few times with new content. So in our team we have one of my colleagues. She is fully dedicated to do this, and we have, I guess, 8 volunteers, 5, 6, 7, something around that, volunteers who are participating in communicating and answering emails coming via Facebook. So Facebook is not for us just a promotion channel for my website. It's the place where we start communicating with the people. So I don't want to drive them away from Facebook. If they are there, I want to talk with them there.
It's another part of the strategy. It's not separate.
It's not separate.
Or it's not just to drive traffic to your website.
No. Also, in the whole idea, what is my main goal? I want to have real contact with real people. You remember that I said before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is also on Facebook our goal. So, for instance, you have now on Facebook the Contact Us button. Every day people are sending email in the inbox on Facebook.
Wow.
Every day we are talking with the people related to the post. So we have posts like this is a quote from Billy Graham saying, "I read the last page of the Bible. Everything is
going to finish
okay."
well.
Yeah. So what we are using quotes, things that are visuals. You see more and more social media is becoming more visual. So we can prepare visuals. We have another lady in our team. She is almost the only thing she's doing is just preparing the images for us, and we all dump ideas for quotes and graphics and stuff and prayers. That's another thing. But what we put it in a Google document, so you can prepare it. How we organize it, I will explain you later. In the beginning, we didn't know what's the big formula to make it successful. So we thought we are creating a mixture of different content types. So we are posting links to different pages on our website or different websites and courses. We are sharing one Bible verse in a day. We are sharing personal stories, inspirational videos, interesting. In the beginning of the evening, we are trying to have a conversation starter. I will show you. Something like this is a quote. What soap is for the body, a laughter is for the soul. It's a Jewish saying. The question is, do you laugh enough? And we try to start communicating. In this case, didn't work. Only 3 comments, and sometimes it just really works. So it's not a guarantee that everything is becoming okay. But we post it in the evening normally because we want to communicate on a relevant way on a spiritual topic. Another try, what we did from the beginning, and it was not really evangelism.
Oh, it's my colleague. It's no family. It's the colleague who's doing it on Facebook.
Yeah. What else I tried in the beginning is to post every night at the end of the evening a prayer from church history, old prayers, new prayers, from songs, from whatever, and we find out they are really working well. We are writing the prayers also ourselves. Well, sometimes creating an image out of it, sometimes just text. I can show you the statistics because I really believe in statistics. No, I believe in Jesus, but you understand. Statistics are very important. That's the wonderful thing of working on the internet. You can measure everything, so you know how effective are you. So if I want to see what was effective in the last week, the quote of Billy Graham you saw, we reached more than 3,000 people. Here is a prayer. It's just this. A prayer from Adrian Plus, a Christian author. 9,000 and something people reached. These are stuff, it's helping us to know and to reflect what was working, what wasn't working. If we are putting links into the text like this, it's a share of an article on our website, and via that article we are redirecting people to the Starter Bible course. Well, it was pretty
He has
successful.
175 clicks, yeah. And so no boosted posts here, like you didn't pay.
No, we didn't pay
You didn't
anything.
pay for anything, okay.
So here you see something that was, this was, if I see here the engagement of what was the most effective one. Let me just wait. Is this one? On the 1st of January, we posted it. If looking back hurts you and looking forward it's very difficult, look beside you, God is there. That's the saying. And you see, just by this, 127,000 people are reached by this one.
3,000 shares.
6,000 likes, comments and shares. So a very important marker on Facebook is your engagement rate. So how many people are doing something with your content? So our goal is not to have a very big community, a lot of fans. We want to have a very active community. We want to talk. That's what we do. So that's what we try to do. I arranged on what are the most successful posts based on the engagement rate. You see, this was, let's say, more or less, is that pastoral counseling kind of theme? It's more for the soul. The second is tears are also prayers. They find their way to God if we cannot speak. The third, if you are searching for words, God of righteousness, we come to you. We do not know what to say. What's this in this world? I think that was the day one of the Paris things were.
November 14th.
Yeah. So this is just helping people, giving them words. But we find out our community, it's really they're touched by this part. Sometimes we really want to be in the teaching part, explaining stuff. Facebook is not the best place to do that. Facebook is the place to connect, to share emotion, to share beauty, to share what you want. Another thing in the insights, what helped us to grow is that you have the ability, if you have a Facebook page, to add pages to watch. That means I can see, you can add different Facebook pages that you think they're doing more or less the same as we do, what's successful for them. So, like if we go to the French site from Top Chrétien, I click there and I directly have the most successful post of last week. And you see, it's no image, it's just text.
Or it's translated.
Is it in English?
Sorry,
Translated.
it's translated from French,
translated,
so
yeah.
we understand everything for now. And you see, the first two most successful posts are text. So it's not always that you need to have images. And these are also, they took the experience we had, so they started also sharing prayers, and they are really working, and they are very successful also with the quotes. If I'm going to see more pages, you see here the engagement this week is the last column. This is important. So you see the Leger des Heils, the army, Salvation Army. They have way more fans, but just a few engagements compared to what we have. So you can have a lot of fans and do nothing with them, and you can have a few fans and do a lot with them. I bet it's the last is the best. So And even with crew, you see they have 3 times what we have from our community. They have 2,400 interactions, and we 7,500. If I'm, it's also compared to who's your target group, and what are you going to do? What does work with that? These were the most effective ones. What I recommend, do this. Watch what's effective with other pages you like, and learn from that. You can have statistics. Always look into your statistics and try to understand. I see this. Why is this more effective than the other posts? Ask yourself the question and start thinking. If you have any clue, you become smarter in using your Facebook. So that's one thing we frequently are doing. And you see I have a lot of pages added because I want to know what's happening, especially in Dutch.
So you said your goal, like with the other ones, is real conversations with real people.
Yeah.
So how does that engagement lead to that, or how do you measure that, or on your Facebook? Are you just making them equal here? Like that's
No. It's just Facebook. A lot of times is a conversation starter.
Okay.
And most of the time you start a conversation is by asking a question.
Yeah.
Here you are depending on your volunteers. If you don't do anything, then only your fans or fans of the page are starting to talk with each other, and a lot of times it's stopping fast. So we trained our volunteers just to, like we do, question-driven coaching, just ask the next question if someone replies. So something is starting. And especially if you talk about things about life hurts, not everything is successful. People start relating, it's a reality check, and then they start talking.
So your volunteers would share this or something, and then maybe have an interaction on their page about it.
No. They start interacting on our page.
The site. On the site. Okay.
The other way we use the Facebook page to reach our audience is that we give the Christians something in their hand from better quality than average. They can share on their timeline with their friends.
Okay.
And that's also very helpful. So we know a lot of our fans still are Christian, and some of the group is too Christian. You understand what I say?
No, I do.
It's sometimes really killing the conversation. So that's a kind of audience education. You have to teach what's proper. In the beginning, when we started, we had to add a lot of times a blog on people, blog for 70% it were Christians we had to block, and not the people who start shouting and cursing and stuff like that.
Okay.
That is our experience. I recommend the 4 seconds rule. When someone starts shouting or cursing or stuff, can I do something with it? If it's no, so think not more than 4 seconds if you want to bother something. Block people who behind some of the hard sayings there is a world. If you find there is a world, start asking a question. Even if it's an uncomfortable statement someone is giving. If it's just messing in your Facebook page, block them, don't bother. Because you have a few thousand fans soon, you can have sleepless nights because of them. So, what you can do also, if you have some audience, you can also use this as the basis for paid promotion. Like we wrote a course about forgiveness. and that's for us, it's an entrance theme. It's a very universal theme, talking about forgiveness, about the past, about things that's broken in your life, how to deal with that. And Facebook, you can really target your audience, very precise. So that's also, we use also frequently to do paid promotion for people directly subscribing for a course online. If you are building your audience, I have one brilliant tip for free today. But if you start paid promotion, promote the stuff that's doing already the best. It's a little, how do you say that? Against the what you think. Counterintuitive, yeah. Because you think this content doesn't work well, we have to push it a little bit. No, promote the stuff that's really thriving well, because the big audience also will love that, and that will help in the growth of your audience. So if you spend a few dollars into it, do it in your best content to grow. You understand what I say?
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to pay a lot of money into that to have some success. This is really this is very simple principle. There are not a lot of people who understand that. So this is really, don't say it to your commercial friends, because they will make money out of it, but you understand? Okay. What else? What you else can do, if you have, for instance, a video from another page. This is, I just want to explain how it works. Did I something wrong? Too fast?
No, Mr. Creator.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, that's. Yeah. So, look, if you have a video from another page you do not own, you can use it in your page like it is your own. The simple principle is, find this URL where the video is. It's just, most of the time, just click on the date when it's published and go there. If I copy this and I go to create a new update, you paste it and you remove it. So now I have a short description over here, but it's just as a full video in your own timeline. So this is a simple way also to use others' content in your own Facebook page.
Can you show it again?
So
Find the video from who shared.
From the one that shared it first, yeah?
yeah, the one from who shared it first. So it's
Does it work with pictures as well?
with pictures, it works exactly the same. So if I go, these are friends. So 1 hour ago they shared this photo. Well, you have now a very complicated URL. You see here. If I click again on the 1 hour, I think this is.
It seems to work. It says photos.
Yeah. So I copy the URL. If I remove this one, I paste it, and then I can remove it, and then I have the
Yeah, I mean,
text.
it gives them credit. There's a link to their
Yeah,
page. Right?
it's a link to there, but that's also a way to grow your page. Is if you are the one who has the best content collection,
Yes.
it's a reason also to follow you.
And people would share your content.
Yeah.
If they don't know the feed.
Yeah.
So it will
So
give you
that's
more credit.
also if not everyone has a team is easy in creating your own content. There are some simple apps for your iPhone and smartphone to create quote, for instance. Please use them. It's so easy. Create beautiful stuff. People want to have it. And be smart. If we are talking about something like forgiveness, we always share the link to, if you want to do something more, subscribe for the course. But not every post is a promotion.
Yeah.
That'd be too much then.
That's too much, and also that's working against the quality of your page. So I can talk for hours, but this is really in short how you can do that. I recommend, if you are considering starting or restarting a Facebook page, make a plan that you at least for 3 months can work, and after 3 months it still works. Do not something, it's like a Facebook page, it's also like a promise. We have almost every day we are doing the same, so people understand what you are doing. Not post on Monday something, on Friday something, and then 3 weeks nothing, and then every week, every day, three things together. That doesn't work. So if you are able to do one update a day and not more, do just one update a day. Then I recommend, look what's most effective, post it in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I think it will be in the evening, because
usually they will, the Facebook will tell you what's in what time is the most.
Yeah, the best people are coming to your page.
it's again in your insights, but it's also in your experience.
Yeah.
What we sometimes do, it's a long time ago right now, what I did in the beginning, sometimes I scheduled a post for around 2:15 in the morning. Focused on people who are worrying and not able to sleep,
Oh,
Yeah.
because knowing the habit, people are, if you are not able to, if you are awake, you cannot sleep. What I start to do, you grab your smartphone and start doing Facebook or Twitter or something. Why not use that principle and give something encouraging for them? There are brilliant things sometimes people responded. I remember the time we shared something like that. Is there some encouraging thought? But also the question, is there a reason why you cannot sleep? Well, some people will say, well, I have the night shift, so I have to stay awake. But also, one of the girls, she responded, well, I'm thinking of, I have to go today to the therapist because last night I tried to commit suicide. Well, you can understand what's happening then in the community, because that was the moment people start taking care for each other.
yeah.
That are the things that when you try to understand, where's my audience, how can I serve them best, just try the stuff. It's over there. And here is most of the people who like our page are women. If you look to the people engaged, it's very interesting. So this is 6931. Who want to talk more? So it's like normal life. So the women are really willing to talk, way more than the men. It's also something you need to, if you
Sometimes it is connected with the content.
Yes.
no, most of the time, but it's so hard to change this.
Yes.
And my guess is that your volunteer is a girl who's well, not volunteer but a colleague who posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also out of the experience that men are not willing to respond easily.
They don't. Yeah, it's easy.
That's my experience
That's
everywhere.
true. That's true. But instead of having such a big difference.
You could do ik dat hoort manly. You know, it's like
Yeah.
make.
Where is the time? I'm looking for where is it? where the people are.
Time.
I think it's
In the only inside
reach.
reach.
It's in reach.
No, you showed before. Go to overview.
No, I cannot find it. It's over there.
It
You
exists.
you find what when they are. No, I cannot find it right now. So, questions. This is just a very compressed version of. Okay.
If you were to start over again,
Yeah.
what would you do, or how would you do that, and what would be the minimum requirement for you to start a Facebook community?
What I should do is way less Christian stuff in the beginning. Because it's very hard when you have really the really tough Christians in your group. They are really killing the normal conversation. So they have an air like, oh, you dumb heathen, you don't understand it, I will explain you. That's not a very comfortable place to be. There's one trick we use to skip these fans, and it's just post jokes, because they cannot handle jokes about your own faith. That's wonderful. So they started these real. You understand what I'm talking about?
No,
They cannot handle a joke about Noah, and can you imagine when Noah and Moses meet each other?
Yeah.
The one with the flood, and the other just with a path through the sea. It's just joking. I think Americans are more used to it than in Europe. But it's a so easy joke, but they cannot handle it, or something else. Doesn't matter. Sometimes it's trying to communicate on the edge and asking the obvious questions that are not always polite for church, but I want to start communicating.
Go to posts and you'll find it.
Just a second. The second part of my question was, what is the minimum requirement that you feel like you said that you have to commit for at least 3 months.
Well, it is. That's my recommendation is start on that with that impact that it's not too much. After 3 months, it's nothing new for you anymore. But then it's just hard work. If you start with too much, it's really hard to keep up. That's the thing. So if you can start with 1 or 2 posts a day, just do that. That's wonderful. If that's too much, what's the way that can do? My experience is it's the biggest traffic driver to our page and our courses. The most of the new people who are participating in the course are coming via Facebook. So for us, it's very important, and I think you will find out. But it's not thriving on money, but thriving on your creativity in your posting and content. So.
But you can't schedule the posts, so you don't
Yeah,
have to be
what
there
we
every
do-
day. You can have
What
one day
we
a
do
week.
normally, we prepared for 2 weeks, for instance, and we already put it over there. I guess if I open up the
You
page,
can schedule the posts.
Yeah. So you can do them all. Yeah,
there are
one day.
already 19 scheduled posts.
Yeah.
So that's a way to have a workload. Do it once a week, and normally keep an eye on your page when the communication starts. So
So what type of non-religious post you're putting?
No, it's not non-religious posts, but it's more.
Okay.
It's more. One of the things is that we are now too friendly. That's my. We are now in a revision process. It's easy to become comfortable on Facebook, and that's not always the best place when you want to have impact.
So you don't want to be so, all we need is love, but you don't want to be, turn or burn. So you probably want to be all push where you could just make them just a little uncomfortable, like challenge them.
Yeah.
That's why you're saying the edge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean, just,
Make them think.
just.
And sometimes it's just a saying when you ask people to respond to something you say. It's nice. So, like, imagine the song. Imagine there's no heaven. Well, really, imagine there's no heaven. What's the difference? That's a good starting point to start a discussion. We're also atheists, and so they are really willing to jump into the discussion. It's nice.
Yeah.
But don't talk about that every day. It's boring.
Yeah. So you shouldn't say, "What if you were God? What would you do?"
Well, what's really working well? Questions in the area of if you with what historical person you really want to have a cup of coffee with,
Oh yeah.
something like that, or people who is here, or stuff like that. And it's interesting always. And when people start talking, then we can continue.
Good.
So do you intervene in the discussion or you leave the discussion?
Sorry?
Do you intervene as an administrator to the discussion? So if you put, if you post a question.
No,
Just-
normally we keep an eye ourselves into it. So we have a messenger group of the volunteers, also hinting someone needs to talk with this one or.
We have two groups of coaches. We have coaches, they are responding out of the name of knowing God. So you see knowing God is responding, but we also have coaches who react in their own name.
As themselves.
So nobody knows that they are part of us and they are reacting on their own name.
Okay. Oh. So how many people do they work voluntarily for this Facebook page?
Not many, not 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, not a few.
And for the posting?
For the posting, we have Annemieke. She is. This is her ministry as a main responsibility. And Kirsten, she is one of the girls in our team. She's preparing all the images for us.
And the images.
That's so. You need one who. You need to be a little bit crazy also to sit in the evening, because normally then things are happening. To sit there and just on your own smartphone during some television program, just start chatting with the people. But it's fun. Okay?
It needs an owner, you need ownership.
Yeah, you need someone who says, even if it's Sunday night and someone is sending some cry, I need help, you need to be crazy enough to respond and not to wait until Monday morning. So, okay?